Hello, Suzanne, and thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Uh, where in the world are you?
I'm in the UK in the county of Lincolnshire.
Lincolnshire, lovely, lovely. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us. For those of you just tuning in, Suzanne has really kindly offered to come on and share her story with us regarding how she overcome an illness, very serious illness of cancer, using the power of nature and meditation and visualization. And I met Suzanne recently on one of the We the Medicine World Meditations. And Suzanne came on at the end to share her story with the group. And I just found it was so beautiful that we decided to have a conversation about that, just so we can share that with our wider community and really show the power of this healing instrument that we all have. So again, thank you again, Suzanne. You maybe want to just start by, telling us a little bit more about you and just about the illness and what happened and how you managed to use your own healing to beat that.
Yes, I've come late in life to spiritual awareness and the mechanism of healing, but it was kind of a shock when I had a car accident, which then gave later found out I had a cancerous lump, and I basically changed my diet first to use all medicines from food to try and help me with the cancer before my surgery, because I had 6 weeks before having the surgery. So I knew I had 6 weeks to try and make a little bit of difference, because it was a very scary cancer that I had, quite aggressive. So I needed to do something like now and not wait 6 weeks to have the surgery. So I did the diet, meditated every day, morning and night, and just visualized healing my cells, um, using the breath, using white light, the purest white light I could imagine. And sometimes I couldn't see it, but I just imagined it there, even if I couldn't see it. So that when I had the surgery, the consultant was amazed. He didn't have to do a full mastectomy. He just did a lumpectomy and a wide excision and took the lymph nodes away on that side. But he was so surprised the next day when he came to see me. He was like, I don't know. He said it shrunk by 2/3. He was so amazed, and I was like blown away as well.
Wow.
Because that's quite a huge difference in 6 weeks. So that taught me a huge lesson in the power of our body, the power of our mind. Then I had a long journey that year through recovery, because it's still exhausting. And a year later, because of the drugs that I had to take, tamoxifen, it can cause in some people a secondary cancer of the womb. And sure enough, that's what's happened to me. I had, this was in 2014, I had a hemorrhage and was rushed to hospital, and the scan showed this horrible mess. It looked just like cancer all over the lining of the womb. So I gave up at that point. I was like, I'm done. I'm off the planet. I can't go through this again. It was I just couldn't. I gave up basically. And then a friend of mine who's very spiritual rang me out of the blue. I hadn't spoke to her for a couple of years, and she said, I needed to tell you this, Susie. It might seem strange, but you need to know. A flash of lightning in her room, middle of the day. Voice said to her, tell Susie to accept the healing. She's not accepting the healing. And she said, do you know what that means? Because she didn't know what had happened to me. I said, yes, I know what it means. And I thanked her. And I said, I'll tell you about it later, another time. I just couldn't talk about it. So I went home, and that night I tried to meditate. I couldn't, it just wasn't happening for me. So the next morning I got up and I was like, right, come on, we can do this. So I really concentrated. I went into my body, calmed myself down with the breath first to really slow everything down, take away all the anxiety. And then I literally flooded my womb with white light, like a river, and the power of a waterfall. You know, that absolute blasting of water, but it was white light, but in that same feeling of water, if that makes sense. So I literally flooded my womb with this water, like a blast. I'd literally blasted it. And when I went for the hysteroscopy 10 days later, I think it was, the consultant was blown away. And he said, this is true. I'm not lying. He said, it's like a magic wand. You've got a brand new womb, like of a 20-year-old. And I was 49 then, because I was 48 when I had the cancer, 49 when I had the second one. So to be told you've got a womb of a 20-year-old, and I looked at it, I looked at the scan, and it honestly, it was pink. It wasn't black anymore. The first scan was black, and this one was pink and beautiful. And I thought, my God, the power of meditation and that belief, you know, it's listening to the side, listening and believing it, isn't it?
Wow. That's just incredible.
I
And
know.
you mentioned that you said 10 days. So is that 10 days from when you first saw the tumor to when you went back? Or was it longer than 10 days, or was it 10 days? Because 10 days
It was
seems like
10 days from when I first saw the first scan.
wow. So 10 days from when you first saw the first scan, and then you went back 10 days later after seeing this light coming in, and it had just disappeared.
Yeah, totally gone.
Wow.
And when I told the breast surgeon, because I had to go to see him regularly, and when I told him what had happened, he gave me a hug and he said, I believe you. I meditate every day as well.
Brilliant.
And he
Wow.
was so happy. He was so happy for me. And most doctors just poo-poo it, don't they? And they're like,
Yeah.
you crazy.
Yeah.
But he was an Indian doctor and he totally understood.
That is so amazing.
I
That's so
know.
that's so incredible. And then so when they told you that there was nothing there, and you've got like a womb of a 20-year-old within 10 days of
Oh my God.
visualizing light, how did that
Yeah.
make you feel?
I wanted to share it with everybody,
Yeah.
and I did. All my friends, and most of them were like, didn't believe me, but I still had to share it because I thought, you know, one day they might need this information. It might help them in some way. And most of my friends were hugging me and over the moon and did believe me. I've got I've got four children, but my boys were like, yeah, no, mum, I don't get that, you know, but
Wow.
happy for me at the same time. But they were like, no, it must have been something else.
Wow.
But my friends who are very spiritual, like my yoga friends, totally got it and were like, you have been so blessed. And I said, oh no, I really know that. And I know I have because all my life I've had incidents where I have been protected. So I am very lucky. But I
Yeah.
think it's because my faith, although my faith is not a specific faith, I just have a huge faith in the universe and God inside me and all those things. So I think because I have that strong faith, that's what's helped me to actually know what I'm doing is working, gonna work. Even of course you have doubts. I had doubts. I didn't think I was going to survive, but I knew I had to do it. And I knew from the first time it shrunk 2/3. So I knew I had every chance of helping it. I didn't think it would be that good, mind you. So that was amazing. I was like, after that, my faith grew stronger. Honestly, from that day, I've had more faith than I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, so you use the word faith there, and faith is such an important part of the healing process, right? It's
Mm,
when we're conditioned to believe that miracles are outside of us, miracles only happen in the Bible, or it's very
mm.
difficult to have that faith in our own ability, in our own self, when we're just not used to it, right?
Yeah,
um
absolutely.
and it's, for me, it's so beautiful to hear you share this, because as you know, with what we're doing with We the Medicine, it's all about, you know empowering people to understand that we all have the ability to create these miracles on a daily basis, but it does come down to faith, and it does come down to believing, like you said, even
Mm.
though you've got doubts. So how did you manage to keep that, like, just to keep having that faith after you've been through one really problematic cancer diagnosis, and you'd gone through like a real difficult process? How did you manage to, because I know you mentioned to me before that you had lost faith at the time,
Mm.
when just before you got the message of you need to be open to receive.
Yeah.
So what was it that flicked the switch for you when you got that message, and where did that message come from in order for you to say you need to receive this healing?
My friend who is she sees auras, and she was always telling me things. I mean, I hadn't seen her for a few years because we lived in different places, but we kept in touch now and again. And I knew she had something special. Didn't really know what it was, but I knew she was different to everybody else.
Yeah.
And she kind of helped me to, because I had given up on religion. Um, but I did talk to God still in my own way. I would just have chats with him, if, like I'm talking to you, I'd talk to God, can you give me a hand, please? I need you.
Yeah.
Um, and and I always felt, if I really, if something was so important to me and absolutely I really seriously needed help, I could feel sometimes, as if he had lifted a weight off me. It's hard to explain, but I literally, it's like a tingling on the shoulders, and I felt that I was being listened to by him, whoever it is. I don't know if it's who he is or anything, but something, whether it's your higher self or, but that, uh, it's that true feeling of needing it, and that you're going to be helped by asking, that
Yeah.
belief that you're being listened to, isn't it? And because I was helped, I knew then it was true, because
Mm.
everything else I'd done in life hadn't worked on my own, if that makes sense. I've had a lot of difficulties, but once I started talking to him, things got better.
Yeah.
I felt not alone anymore, and I felt healthier. And I started walking in nature, talking to trees, hugging
Beautiful.
trees. I've gone down. I just totally connected with nature, basically.
So amazing.
Yoga helped me to do that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's so amazing. I'm just so grateful for you to to be able to share that with me, and then obviously to the wider audience, because, you know, I totally 100% have the faith, and I know and I believe it, and I've, you know, I've devoted my life to being of service, to share this information with people out there that are suffering.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, of
Sorry.
course. No, of course.
On a few of my meditations this year, well, in fact, the first time with the first cancer, one of the meditations I did, I saw this is what helped my faith actually, because back then my faith was very wobbly. I didn't really know very much, didn't feel it very much, but because I knew I had to do something for myself, I turned to God really at
Yeah.
that point. I mean, I was helped, I know, miraculously with the car accident. It's another story altogether, but I was helped in that to survive. So that told me, oh my gosh, there's more to this life than me and this earth. And so, and then when I meditated, I saw this beautiful golden light. I told you about it. And it came towards me, and it was so beautiful. It was so gentle, and it was just moving like a floating ball of light towards me, like a giant orb, actually, but in my mind. And it almost like the Wizard of Oz, actually, you know, that ball with the fairy coming along. It was kind of that feeling, but just gold light. That's all it was, gold light. And I knew I was going to be okay. And that's when my faith really started, I think. So my journey with the cancer actually helped my faith, even though I used my faith, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It totally brought it all together.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. And so how long ago was this, Suzanne, that you've had the all clear now?
Oh gosh, I've been clear since 2018.
Amazing.
Every year I've gone and he said, "Yep, you're good." I'm like, "Yahoo!"
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 10 years actually, just over 10 years.
Wow. Amazing. It's so amazing. So for anyone that's listening out there,
Oh, I know. What's interesting as well is 10 years. January was when I had the car accident, and 10 years this January, another situation has happened. So I've been doing a lot of healing this year, yoga retreats and meditation. And honestly, my mind has been blown by what I've seen spiritually this year. And I found you as well. So it's been
yeah,
a great journey.
absolutely. I'm so happy that we've managed to find each other. And it's
If I
just,
can help anybody with this story, if it even helps one person,
yeah,
that's amazing, isn't it?
absolutely. And we're gonna share this with our social channels, and I really want as many people to see this as possible, because it's so important. It's such a beautiful story, and it's a story of hope, and it's a story of love, and it's a story of um you know, healing through nature being that what is everything
Yeah,
around us, within us, and now our ability to use our imagination to see this light, this
yeah,
ancient technology of our imagination, to see the light coming in to heal us
yeah,
on all levels. And this is what I believe everybody in the world has access to. And hearing you share
yeah.
this is just to, you know, it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. So thank you again
That's a pleasure.
for
And
sharing that.
for everyone to actually, if they see something in their imagination, not to dismiss it, because actually, because I used to think, oh, I'm just imagining it, it's not real, but it is real, you know?
Absolutely.
Take notice of it and appreciate it and see it as a blessing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I walk barefoot on the grass if you can.
Oh yeah, that's very important. I'm always bare feet on the
Yeah,
grass. So,
Me too.
Suzanne, share if you can, just a little bit about, what was your process when you used to see this light? Run me through it. I'm guessing you close your eyes, and just for
Yeah,
anyone that's listening back home, let's maybe give like a little
I
step
can.
by
Yeah, I
step
can
to
do it.
share this technique that you use to heal your cancer.
For me to, what I'll do is I will close my eyes and do it like how I do
Okay,
it.
beautiful.
So, okay. So I normally lie down flat on the bed with my arms, my hands open, so palms up, and I close my eyes, and I first go to the breath, and I use the abdomen. So breathe in, feel the abdomen expand. But the breath in is pure healing light. That's why I always imagine is it my breath that comes in is healing breath. And that breath is a light, because light's all around us. And that light is what we're breathing in. That's how I imagine it, because it's how it works for me. So I breathe it in and I imagine it going in, even though it's coming in through the abdomen, I'm imagining it coming in, because our aura is, as you know, all around us. I imagine it coming in from every angle into my body, but predominantly through the abdomen and into the lungs and into the brain and into every cell. And I see every cell. I go down to its molecular level, and I see them sparkling, almost like stars in your body. But if you look at a cell, I kind of see the cell in my mind, and I see it shining. So it's almost like you're making every cell in your body shine. And I do that all the way down. So I don't try and picture all the organs. I just feel it moving down through the body, all the way down to my toes and out. And I do it several times. If I'm not feeling very well, if I've got a virus or something, I do it several times. Um,
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's just so interesting that that I do these meditations every week, and
mm,
when I you know am sharing during a meditation, I'm always allowing spirit to come through me as a vessel for me to share whatever it is that needs to be said.
mm,
And it was so interesting that was the first meditation in 2 years that I'd actually um, directed people to use their imagination to go deep into the cells at the
mm,
subatomic particles to change the quantum field, which is not something that I normally do. It's the first time, and the fact that I did that, I think, triggered something in you to want to share at the end, which is so
yeah,
profound, and that's why everything's always connected, and that's why spirit guided me to share that so that you could hear that and share your story, which in effect
mm.
is going to
Oh,
help
it
so many
totally.
people. Oh, it's just, and it's so
As soon as
beautiful
you said
how
it,
that
it totally resonated with me. I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
is so
Thank
good.
you.
No, you're welcome. So, okay. So as you might notice, I've got a different background. I've had to move in because of the rain.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, again, just thank you so much for sharing the technique and your story. I think it's just such an important message that
Mm,
needs to be shared with people. People need to know that that we have this healing instrument, and that using our breath and our imagination, we're really able to bring the light in, like you say, see that light coming in,
yeah.
which is always there, it's always around us, but really using our imagination to bring it in
Mm,
to um, really affect the cells at the subatomic level. I think is so important. So thank
yeah.
you so much for sharing your amazing amazing story with us all. And yeah, maybe you could even be part of one of the live meditations that we do and actually share that as well, if you're up for doing that, maybe one day in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you.
Yeah,
Because it's not just, there's so many ways of visualizing the light. I don't always go to the cells.
yeah,
Sometimes I do it with color. Sometimes it's whatever you feel
sure.
resonates with you. It's just when I had the two urgent ones, I knew it had to be the whitest light I could possibly do. But
Yeah,
with general meditation, I just visualize, purple a lot and golds and whites. I love white and gold sparkles coming through the body. That's my favorite one.
amazing.
And I do that kind of like um, almost like a soft rainfall trickling through the body.
Yeah,
There's all so many ways, isn't there? It's whatever a person finds that works for them, isn't it?
absolutely. And the thing is, sharing your story with me is it's amazing, and it's going to be great for everyone listening. And to me, it's really not surprising to hear that story, because I've read so
Mm.
much, so many books, and so many and heard so many stories about this before. Heard so many people that have managed to heal themselves using the power of imagination. It's something that
Mm.
I do on a daily basis, constantly tuning in and seeing the light. And I know my partner does it, Janine, as well. And it's really helped her dealing with her own illnesses. So, and it's something that, from my own research, I know that everyone's got the ability to do, and it's something that we've always had the ability to do. And when you really go down the rabbit hole with this stuff, you can see that this
Mm.
information has always been there, and a lot of it's been hidden from society, so that people don't realize that they've got this miraculous power to
Yeah.
be able to heal themselves. So hearing these
Yeah.
stories again is just so brilliant, to be able to share that with anyone that's listening. Is there anything else you
And
want to share before we
yeah,
wrap it
I
up?
think it's a combination of doing those meditations, but also doing the diet that I went on.
Sure.
That definitely helped. Cutting. I literally zeroed out sugar totally,
Yeah,
because
so
cancer likes
important.
sugar. It loves sugar. That's what it thrives on. So I cut sugar out. I ate mushrooms and I went on basically a raw food vegetable diet.
Amazing.
It wasn't easy,
No,
but it's a combination of and walking in nature, um, hugging the trees. It was a combination of all those things. It's
yeah,
not just one thing.
sure,
And I
absolutely.
really, I appreciated like a cloud in the sky, and it's just like, yeah, changing your mindset a little bit, isn't it?
Absolutely,
'Cause,
absolutely. And like you just said, the medicine can be nature, it can be the food, it's our breath, it's a combination of all of it. And I think
mm,
that it's all underpinned by, by our belief system, and really
mm.
like just giving it a go, just allowing ourselves, just let's see what happens here. Let's do this. And you're the living proof that, you know, you shrunk a tumor within 10 days, which is
Oh,
astonishing.
it totally obliterated it. I
It's
mean, that was the angels with me. Wasn't me on my own. I was helped by higher power, my
unbelievable.
guardian angels, whoever they were. They wanted me to get well.
Absolutely. It's so
And it
beautiful.
was amazing.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
have to do it together, don't you? And I'll just tell
absolutely.
you one little quick story.
Yeah,
I know
sure.
you're running out of time,
No, no,
but this will
we're
this
good
will
for
blow
time.
your mind. I did a yoga retreat in Wales this year in June, and after 3 weeks doing the chanting every day, I couldn't read the words on the book, as I was telling you, and then all of a sudden, without my glasses on, it was like the words popped out of the page, big, bold. words and I could see them. And I was like, how's that happened?
Yeah,
But it only lasted for like 2 seconds and then it was back to blurry again. I was like,
yeah,
oh, wow, how cool though, that there is this other level possible, you
absolutely.
know?
I mean, just sharing that, and thank you for sharing. I work with chanting for my own eyesight, and it really, really helps because here's the thing. There's a little bit of science behind that. So when you're chanting, when you're like and you're humming, what you're doing is you're activating your body's own nitric oxide. Nitric
Yeah.
oxide is a molecule that really
Mm,
helps to down-regulate the nervous system and give the body
mm,
chance to rest. So humming is
yeah.
a really powerful tool that I use and teach.
Mm,
And when you're chanting, you're actually activating your parasympathetic nervous system, and it's down-regulating everything, which gives
mm,
yourself a chance to rest. And sometimes when you're always in fight or flight, it can affect your eyes because it does the same thing with me. I find it hard to read, and then I go out into nature and I really like practicing every day. It really improves it a lot when I'm conscious of
mm,
that. So chanting, stimulating the vagal nerve is a really,
mm,
really powerful medicine as well. So
mm.
thank you for sharing that
Amazing.
also.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. I got prescribed glasses about 5 years ago and I haven't worn them. Every
Yeah,
now and then I may wear them if I really, really need to see something super small, but I'm still doing well. So, and I put
yeah.
that down to being in nature and chanting and really like,
Mm,
healing myself actually.
yeah, wonderful. They are. It's amazing. You look really well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Listen,
so much for your time.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's really such a pleasure to hear that. And it's so inspiring. It's so, I'm sure that that's going to have such a big impact on people, giving people hope that they can use their tools and
Mm.
yeah, it's brilliant to hear. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, namaste.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.